The Roval once again served as a cutoff race here in the NASCAR playoffs. And for once, it actually wasn't that chaotic or unnecessarily crazy. So that was weird. It was a little bit weird, not going to lie. But yes, the Roval once again on the schedule. Not a lot of high expectations, of course. We've talked about a lot how, the short tracks and the road courses have not been great in this new car. But today, it actually wasn't that bad, if you ask me. I enjoyed the racing a bit, but 4 drivers were eliminated. 1 driver won. Who was that driver that won? Well, we have 12 playoff drivers remaining. Which one of them was it? It wasn't any of them. It was actually a non-playoff driver. Remember last year, we had non-playoff drivers win the first 4 races of the playoffs. Well, this year, it took 6 races to get our first non-playoff driver to win, and it was AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger I had in my preseason playoffs because of this. He is so good at the road courses. He can compete for the wins at these styles of track because he's such a good road racer. He has 2 wins previous to today in the Cup Series, both on road courses. One being Watkins Glen back with JTG Doherty in 2014, and then back in 2021 with Colleague Racing at the Indianapolis road course. And now his 3rd Cup Series win comes at the Charlotte Roval, a place that in the Xfinity Series he quite literally owns. 4 for 4 in the Xfinity Series on the Charlotte Roval. I don't mean 4 for 4 on top 10s. I don't mean 4 for 4 on top 5s. I mean wins. He is 4-0, undefeated at the Roval when it comes to the Xfinity Series. Of course, this year he didn't get to race in the Xfinity Series because of the new rules and Cup drivers, or at least full-time Cup drivers, not being allowed to race in the Xfinity Series during the playoffs. Well, Allmendinger, he got it all out. He still managed to win at the Roval despite not being in an Xfinity car. So AJ Allmendinger, your winner. So we don't see an automatic advancement out of anyone in terms of the winning, which is kind of what really calmed the playoff cutoff line down. Usually we see someone below the cutoff line right there at the edge. Like last year, Christopher Bell had to win at the Roval to advance, and he did just so, and that completely shuffled up the board. Kyle Larson, at the time the defending champion, ended up getting eliminated. We've seen guys below the cutoff line or close to the cutoff line fighting for a win, and something happens. Jimmy Johnson spinning out in 2018. And that's what makes the Roval so chaotic in terms of the playoff cutoff line. But today, Kyle Busch was up there. He was fighting for the lead with those late restarts, but those late restarts were with 25 to go. So there was a lot that still could have happened, and Allmendinger just seemed to be the best car there at the end. So it just really never seemed like a viable threat. It's no disrespect to Kyle Busch or RCR. It's just that AJ Allmendinger, Colleague Racing, they were the top of the field today. They were the best car in the field probably, and it was really hard to beat them. William Byron, he's got 6 wins on the year. He tried his best, but even he couldn't get by him. He couldn't even get to the bumper of Allmendinger there at the end. So 4 drivers were indeed eliminated. As I said, Kyle Busch, who was in a must-win situation, did not win, eliminated. Bubba Wallace entered this race -9, eliminated. Ross Chastain entered this race -10, eliminated. And that 4th driver eliminated actually was above the cutoff line entering today. Brad Keselowski was +2 on the cutoff line. Did not have the greatest qualifying effort, and the guy who was -2, Tyler Reddick, started on pole. So I know he entered +2, but after qualifying, he was really minus. And obviously, Reddick, a great road course racer he is. Keselowski has never been a great road course racer. And that showed today, and that unfortunately cost Keselowski the spot in the round of 8. So your round of 8 drivers are William Byron, who won at Texas, Ryan Blaney, who won at Talladega, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Prosper, Texas' own Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, and Tyler Reddick, as I said. So those are your 8 drivers in the Elite 8. What do we call it now? The round of 8, the NASCAR Elite 8, whatever it's called. But that's the moral of the story. So let's go through the results. We'll talk about each driver, each playoff driver's day at least. And AJ Allmendinger is your winner. A lot of emotion out of him after this win. He was talking about how you never know when that next one's coming. You never know if it's going to happen. he's not guaranteed the 16 car and Cup next year. He could do Xfinity for Colleague. He's going to be at Colleague regardless, but almost talking like he's going to retire or something. I was waiting for him to say at the end, this is my last race ever. So, good for him, though, to get a win. Very emotional for him, obviously, as you could see in that post-race interview. But once again, a great road course racer. I expect him to be contending at road courses usually. And today, once again, proved it that he is one of the best road course racers in the field. And he led, I want to say, almost the entire second half of this race. Just really didn't quite put it on cruise control that last run because Byron was on his tail, but he kept it calm, kept himself cool and collected, and was able to get the win. A big win for AJ Allmendinger. Second place, William Byron, the guy, as I said, who has 6 wins on the year, was already advanced to the next round, but once again, 5 playoff points, bonus points, whatever you want to call them, to the next round would have been nice for him, but he's got a lot as is, so he's not really stressed. But once again, if he wrecks at Vegas or something, you could have problems, but I wouldn't worry about that. Byron's been outstanding this year. He won the Vegas race in the spring, so round of 8, he should be strong again, but good run for him today. Third place, Kyle Busch. What a start it was for him in RCR. They won their second race together at Auto Club, won 3 races in the first half of the season, one at Auto Club, as I said, Talladega being that second one and Gateway being the third. They were up in the top 5 of the standings for a bit. Then the summer hit, and it's been ever since. You either see him wrecking, you see him wrecking in practice and starting at the back, and then they just can't get back to the front. Every once in a while, you'll see a top 5. You'll see him lead a few laps, but that inconsistency, it was going to strike eventually, and it struck here in the round of 12, and Kyle Busch has been eliminated in his first year with RCR. I think I talked about it in my playoff preview video. Kyle Busch, can he be like Kevin Harvick? Show up to his new organization, fresh start, get a few wins, and then to go out and win the championship in the first year? The answer is no. Kyle Busch eliminated from playoff contention. Great run today, though, regardless. Top 5 most of the day. Did everything he could, but unfortunately eliminated. Fourth place, Ty Gibbs. Very strong run for the rookie. He's been running great in these playoffs. I know he's not in it, but he led a ton of laps at Bristol. I think he finished top 5 at Bristol, and today he was top 10, top 5 most of the day. Very strong run for Ty Gibbs today. Very impressive. Fifth place, Joey Logano was up there. Actually, a good chunk of the day. A pretty solid run for Logano considering how this year has been. Sixth place, Tyler Reddick, a road course ace, won stage 1. Did enough in the points. Finishes 6th on the day. Can't complain. He advances to the round of 8. And this round of 8, he's got some good tracks coming up. He could very well be a threat to the Final Four. This is why I had him. My preseason predictions, I had Tyler Reddick as my champion. I know some of you thought I was crazy. This is why, because Vegas and Homestead with the 2311 Toyota, he's got a legit shot of winning those two. So Tyler Reddick onto this round of 8. It's time for him to prove me right. Seventh place, Chris Buescher, so consistent at these road courses. No, he doesn't compete for the win every time. No, he doesn't lead a ton of laps. But he's consistently 7th to 10th at road courses in the next-gen era. And coming into this race, he was pretty good points position, but he did just enough. He was just fine, never really sweated in this race at all. Finishes 7th, good day for him. How about Alex Bowman there in 8th? Really good run for him. It's been a struggle of a year ever since the injury. An 8th place finish, a solid result for him at Hendrick's home track, at really everyone's home track, but good race for him. 9th place, Chase Elliott led some laps today, kind of got a poorly timed caution there in stage 2. He ended up winning the stage, which was good for him in the owner's points because the 9 does advance in the owner's championship. I think the 19 is actually eliminated in the owner's championship. Correct me if I'm wrong there, though. But the 9 advances in the owner's championship. I'm pretty confident on that. So they did enough for the owners, and that's really their goal. I know they're still fighting for wins. They still want to win a race this year, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them, so it's a good result for them. 10th place, Ross Chastain eliminated. I had him out in my first round in my playoff preview video, and unfortunately for them, that wreck last week at Talladega in stage 1 killed them. That first race at Texas to get stage points to finish runner-up, great. That's about the best you can do without really winning. But then to follow that up, and I mean, if they had crashed in stage 3 and finished last and gotten 15 or so stage points, 6 or 7 stage points, it would have been a closer fight. But because it happened in stage 1 at Talladega, it really meant that they had to perform today, and unfortunately, they just couldn't do enough. A top 10 result, once again, a good result, but unfortunately eliminated from the final cutoff race in terms of advancing to the round of 8. So he will not be in the Final Four. That means only one driver from the 2022 Final Four is in the round of 8, Christopher Bell. 11th place, Ryan Preece, really good run for him. 12th place, Ryan Blaney, we already knew he was advanced just like William Byron. 13th, Kyle Larson. This is the race that killed his championship hopes last year. A terrible start to the weekend, crashing in practice, going to a backup car, starting at the back of the field. Slid by, did just enough. 14th, Austin Dillon, solid run for him. 15th, Christopher Bell, the defending winner of this race, started up front, got some stage points, and they did enough. I feel like I'm saying this with everyone, but honestly, most of these guys who made it, they didn't have to do anything extraordinary. They just had to score stage points and run decent. The only one who didn't was Reddick, and Reddick was starting up front, so that job was pretty easy. Plus, Keselowski kind of sucked today, to put it pretty blatantly. 16th, Bubba Wallace had a great start to the day, scored 8 or so stage points, running up front, but then the strategy caught up to him with the stage cautions and all of that. And they got trapped in the middle of the field. They spun out late, not by their own cause. Daniel Suarez just locked up, started spinning, clipped Cindric, who clipped Bubba. And at that point, they were going for a Hail Mary, and it never added up for him. I will say, though, I've been hard on Bubba Wallace in terms of his road racing, but these last 2 races, he really has improved. Watkins Glen, I think he got a top 10. If not, he was running top 10 most of the race. And then today, qualified well, got some stage points, but unfortunate timing cautions, unfortunate strategy, unfortunate spin there. Just things that were mostly out of his control, but he drove well. So he's improving on the road courses, but he is eliminated. Still a solid year for him, though. 17th, Corey LaJoie. 18th, Brad Keselowski. The resurgence of RFK has been prevalent here in the past few months, and we have seen it with Chris Buescher winning 3 races. Brad Keselowski still looking for his first win with RFK. Made it to the playoffs for the first time with RFK. Advanced to the round of 12 for the first time with RFK. But unfortunately, that crash at Talladega really hurt their chances, really hurt their hopes, and they just ran extremely poorly today, or extremely poor today. A couple of spins, missing the chicane once, just not a lot of speed. Keselowski's never been a great road course racer. That's what ultimately did him in here at the end. Finishes 18th, eliminated. Kevin Harvick, 19th. Martin Truex Jr., 20th. Another meh to bad day for them. They got to pick it up in this round of 8, or they could be eliminated. 21st, Almirola. 22nd, Haley. 23rd, Gilliland. 24th, Burton. 25th, Cindric. Josh Bilicki, 26th. Austin Hill, 27th. Chase Briscoe, 28th. Mike Rockenfeller, 29th, filling in that 42 car for the road course. He also, not him, I think it was Jordan Taylor, ran the Garage 56 car during the pre-race. That was cool. Zane Smith, 30th. Ty Dillon, 31st. 32nd, Michael McDowell. Just had some power steering issues, had some electrical issues, and then got caught up in a crash with Eric Jones, so that ended their day. Or at least ended their chances at being competitive. Daniel Suarez, 33rd, was involved in a wreck. Crashed by Christopher Bell, actually. It was pretty bad, but so he finishes 33rd. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., great to see him get out of his car. His car was on fire. Finishes 34th. Andy Lally, 35th. 36th, Eric Jones was in a wreck. And then 37th, Denny Hamlin just missed the front stretch chicane, got clipped, and it broke the back of the car, and they couldn't fix it in time in the DVP, and they finished last. I mean, they advanced. There was no threat of them really not advancing, but just really an odd situation there. But thankfully for Hamlin, no more road courses this year. Let's look at the points for the round of 8. Here are your point standings. William Byron sits on top with 41. Truex has 36. Hamlin with 32. Larson with 24. And that's where the cutoff is. Buescher is currently -3. Reddick is -8. Bell is also -8. And Blaney -10. Pretty straightforward. That list gets smaller and smaller every 3 weeks. as the system intends. Anyways, Las Vegas next week, and then after that we got Homestead and Martinsville. So in about 3 weeks' time, we will know who's going to be in the championship for, who's fighting for the 2023 championship. Let me know what your thoughts were on the race. Once again, I thought it was a good race for the road courses. In the next-gen car, they've struggled, and I thought today was a good race. We saw some fights for the lead. We saw some passing. I still don't like the stage cautions happening. I don't like them happening anywhere, but especially the road courses. I felt like it just really altered things today, as it always does, and the new restart zone was a bit weird, being in the chicane versus the oval. I get why they changed it, but I don't know. I guess it's a part of the track you actually race on, so it's better to do it there. But let me know what your thoughts were on it all, the new chicane, restart zone, just everything about this race. So, yeah, once again, pretty good race for a modern next-gen road course race. Pretty average, though, on a road course scale in my time of watching NASCAR. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And Vegas next week, as I've said multiple times.